So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now in this video we're going to be going through a ton of my single player maps. Basically recently, since I've been ill, I decided that I was going to go through all of my single player maps and unlock all of the POIs, all of the hunting structures, basically just every little green marker on the maps that I hadn't unlocked. And along the way I found some pretty cool trophies. Starting off with this huge level 5 diamond axis deer here on Emerald Coast. I had no idea this guy was on my map. He wasn't even very far from an outpost when I found him, and he's one of my bigger diamond axis deer ever at 229.90, so this was actually a really cool find. Now, still on Emerald Coast, I ended up finding this guy, a pretty small level 3 Piebald Javan rusa, which was really cool because this is actually my favourite of the two piebald variants for the Javan rusa males, and they actually look really pretty. I actually prefer the piebald females over the piebald males, but for the two variants for the males, this is definitely my favourite. I really love the white neck and face on this pattern. It's really beautiful, and the models for these guys are just fantastic. The detail and the quality is really gorgeous, so finding the rares for these guys is always really exciting. The only rare I've never had for the Javan rusa is actually albino, so one day I'd love to find one of those, but again, this was just a really nice surprise to spot this guy running away as I was going from lookout point to lookout point and picking up all the different POIs on the map. This was a really cool one to actually encounter, a very beautiful rare. Now moving from Emerald Coast to Hirschfelden, and this time we have a rare wild boar. Now I picked up this female's track, again just as I was going from point to point, and it actually said black gold. Now black gold is a rare for wild boar, it is not a rare for the feral pigs or the wild hogs, but if you find a black gold wild boar like these on Hirschfelden, then that is a rare. And as you can see, they are basically the exact same looking as the black gold feral pigs and wild hogs, but they are actually a rare for the wild boar. So a really cool find, and actually shot her in an interesting position there as she was led down in a rest zone. So that was a little bit interesting too. Very cool to find a rare from Hirschfelden. Now moving on from Hirschfelden to Vurhonga Savannah, and we have a really cool rare. This is one that you don't see a whole lot. These guys seem to be pretty darn rare. This is an albino wildebeest. Now I saw her running away with her herd, and it just stuck out like a sore thumb. I mean, an albino animal out here on Vurhonga always does just stick out, and the wildebeest are just that really bright white coloration when they're albino, and it's just absolutely stunning. Now it's a bit of a shame she is a level 1 female. They can get quite a bit bigger than this, even as females, and of course these can be male as well. But, you know, it really doesn't matter. She is just an absolutely gorgeous rare. These are so beautiful, and it's been quite a while since I've actually seen a rare wildebeest. I haven't been doing a lot of Vurhonga hunting, if I'm honest, and my Vurhonga map was basically almost completely unexplored. I just had a few of the outposts unlocked. But it was just such a cool sight seeing this female actually, you know, fleeing away and then finding her and finding her herd. Just an incredible looking animal. Really beautiful. These are just a really cool rare, like I said, and actually both of the rares for wildebeest are really cool. You have the albinos, which can be male and female, and then you have the crowned, which can only be female, unfortunately. Would be cool to have males for those as well, but just the rare wildebeest in general, just both look amazing. These are really beautiful, and I was very excited to see this. Now, still on my Vurhonga single player, and I ended up finding this guy, a level 5 lesser kudu. Now, if you've watched some of my previous videos, you may know that actually when I unlocked just a few of the outposts here on my Vurhonga single player, that I did end up finding a level 5 lesser kudu then, and that guy actually ended up being a max weight and a pretty high score. So it was actually really interesting to find another level 5 here on my single player. Now, this guy looked to have really nice horns, and I was actually worried that I may have messed up the shot, because right as I pulled the trigger, this guy turned his head, and I wasn't sure if he maybe might have turned his head into the shot, but thankfully, as you can see here, as he went to scratch his head there, I actually just managed to sneak the bullet in past his head and get it into his lungs, because he was going to pull his head back there to that back foot and actually scratch it. So I got very, very lucky there, but a really, really nice diamond. Now moving on from Vurhonga over to Rancho, and I ended up finding this, a level 5 mule deer. Now this guy unfortunately has a really, really mismatched rack, and it doesn't look very good. I was pretty sure he was actually going to be a diamond because of having 2 of the different diamond racks. You know, sometimes when they're uneven, weird things can happen, but I was pretty confident this guy should make it. But it doesn't work when they have antlers that look this different. They don't match, like, really at all, and it's really unfortunate. I wish he had been even, but he does end up being a diamond at 322.40, only 200.02 kilos. But yeah, like I said, you can just see how massively uneven this guy is, and one side is the rack that used to be the laser beam rack, so just an unfortunate situation with him being uneven. Still a nice diamond though. Then moving over to Lon Lakes, and I ended up encountering this herd of blacktail. And as you will have seen, there was not just 1, but 2 level 5s in here. Now, I ended up having to chase this herd around for ages. They just would not give me any kind of shot. And finally, this guy, which was actually the smaller of the 2 level 5s, got stuck here on this terrain, and I tried to get a shot in, and I obviously messed it up. Tried to take a second shot, and I think it hit the terrain. And then as he was running away there, managed to get a third shot, and actually it would have been the second shot that hit him, but actually a third shot at him, and it dropped him. That third shot actually dropped him. So taking a look at what happened, we can see that I placed the first shot just too far forward, and I was willing to take a risky shot because it's the smaller rack, so I knew that this guy could be a troll, and even if he was a diamond, he'd be a small diamond. The second shot completely missed him, but the third shot went through the spine there, through the liver and the stomach, and into the lung. So got super, super lucky with that shot. And then finally, after chasing the herd for absolutely ages trying to get a shot at the second level 5, he actually did the little animation where they stop whilst they're actually fleeing, and I was lined up just perfectly to get a shot at his lungs, and I just took it because I was just so tired of chasing this guy around. And I dropped him, thankfully, with a double lung shot, and he ended up being a really good sized diamond at 189.69. I knew that this guy was going to be a diamond. He had the big rack, and so when I saw the 2 of them, and I saw that one had the smaller rack and one had the big rack, I was trying to prioritise getting the one with the big rack. But like I said, when that smaller rack one kind of got stuck on terrain, I was willing to take that riskier shot. And even though, you know, the first shot didn't work out and the second shot missed, thankfully we got that one on the third shot. So we ended up with 2 diamonds from that herd. Now, sticking with the theme of blacktail, and you may have been able to see through the brush here, that we have a bit of an interesting looking blacktail doe. Now, she looks really weird on the ground because something happens with their face when you kill them. I don't really know what's going on there, but their nose kind of gets elongated. But it is actually an albino female. So all of the trophies I ended up finding on my Leighton were actually blacktail. I ended up finding 3 blacktail trophies, which was really, really cool. And like I said, I got lucky to get both of those diamonds, and then getting an albino doe was just a nice little bonus. Now, moving from Lon Lakes over to Yukon Valley, and we have a level 3 harlequin duck. Now, I missed that first shot at him there, but I kind of knew then what I needed to do to adjust for the distance, and managed to get him with the second shot. And actually walking over here confirmed my suspicions that this guy was actually a piebald level 3. Now, this is really cool, but even if he did make diamond, I knew it wouldn't be a super rare. Piebald isn't a rare for harlequins, it's more like an uncommon. but this guy is actually a diamond, only a small diamond at 7.26, but still just really, really cool to get another piebald diamond harlequin duck. I do have one already, but it is always cool to just get diamonds with a bit of a variation. Like I said, this isn't a rare for harlequin ducks. Piebald is not rare for harlequin ducks, for mallards, or for cinnamon teal. It is rare for the other duck species, but unfortunately not for these guys. So not a super rare, but still a very cool diamond. Moving from Yukon over to Quattro, and I spotted this, a level 1 albino female Greedos ibex. Now, she did end up spooking there, and I decided I would just try and take a couple of shots at her as she was fleeing, because this particular area was just really a bit of a pain to try and track her in. And when I saw that I could probably get a couple of shots, I figured I would try it. The first shot wasn't very successful, but managed to line up a much better second shot. And as you will have seen, she went down very quickly from that. So the first shot, again, similar to the blacktail, actually ended up hitting her in the shoulder blade. And the second shot got her in the lung there. So really lucky with getting that nicer second shot. It wouldn't have mattered too much anyway, seeing as she was a level 1 female, so she was only going to be a bronze regardless. But just a pretty cool rare to find out here. And finally, moving on to the last clip of this video, and one of the cooler trophies I ended up finding on any of my single player maps, we're actually here on New England mountains, and as you can see here, we have a melanistic grey fox. That is really, really cool. I actually picked up this female's track, and it was actually the disturbed veg I picked up first, and it said Melanistic, and I was really curious as to what it was going to be. And when I actually picked up the tracks and it said grey fox, I was really, really excited. These are actually a really cool thing to find. And funnily enough, of all the rares that grey fox have, they have piebald, albino, leucistic, and melanistic. The rare fur type I have found the most for grey fox, ever since they released with Mississippi, is melanistic. I have found so many melanistics while searching for the other rares. I only have 2 piebalds, I have a couple of leucistics, and I've never had an albino. But to get a melanistic grey fox here on New England mountains just felt extra cool because, you know, this map is notorious for being one of the, you know, less favourable maps in the game for a lot of players, and just one of the harder maps to hunt in general. So actually getting a really cool rare off of this map was actually very, very awesome. So really, really happy with this find. But that is going to be it for this video, so thank you so much for watching and for all your support as always. I actually really enjoyed going through all my maps and unlocking everything. There's still areas on those maps that, you know, I should go through and hunt at different drink times and stuff, but these were all the trophies that I just found as I was wandering around, going from point to point, and it's really cool looking at my maps and not seeing all those little green icons everywhere. It makes me really happy to see that they're just completely fully unlocked now, and yeah, that's just really, really nice. And like I said, it was cool getting all of these trophies as well along the way. But like I said, that is going to be it for this one, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.